Welcome back to the channel, tennis fans, for yet another huge breaking update. The 2026 BNP Paribas Open at Indian Wells has just delivered a massive shock wave that is actively reverberating throughout the entire Women's Tennis Association, so I am ecstatic to bring you the most recent and thrilling developments from the sun-drenched palm-lined courts of tennis paradise. You haven't seen the fire created on the slow hard courts today if you thought the dry California desert air was already scorching in March. Every viewer, observer, and former player was on the tip of their seats during this round of 64 match. This match produced a level of Grand Slam intensity that is uncommon this early in a WTA 1000 event, completely overcoming the typical early round anxiety. Naturally, I'm referring to Alexandra Eala, a phenomenal emerging star from the Philippines, competing against Dayana Yastremska, a brutally strong and battle-tested Ukrainian champion. The WTA as a whole is stunned. The terrain of this year's Sunshine Double has just been thrown wide open, and the fans are going crazy. We must first set the scene and recognize the extreme importance of this situation before delving into the detailed shot-by-shot tactical analysis of what makes this contest so utterly enthralling. To understand why this particular match has caught the attention of the tennis community worldwide, you must comprehend the perspectives of both of these incredible sportsmen. Let's go back and examine Alexandra Eala's incredible 12-month journey. This young Filipina phenomenon was ranked about 140th in the world just a year ago. She was putting in a lot of effort on the ITF circuit, competing in the W75 tournaments, and attempting to adjust her unquestionable junior success to the demanding senior professional tour. The flip then changed though. In just 52 weeks, Alex Eala has gone from being the most deliciously kept secret in tennis to becoming a true household name and a worldwide sensation. She defeated Grand Slam winners including Iga Swiatek and Madison Keys during a breakout, historic run to the Miami Open semifinals as a wild card, sending her hurtling up the rankings. She won her first WTA 125 title in Guadalajara along the way. On Eastbourne's grass courts, she advanced to her first WTA circuit final. After breaking into the top 100 and then the top 50, she arrived in the Coachella Valley with an incredible career-high ranking of number 31. This is a historic ranking. As the top-ranked player in Philippine history, she is the country's greatest pride. Her fervent, electrifying, worldwide fan base transforms every venue she plays in into a loud home-court advantage. Eala entered Indian Wells as a seeded player for the first time in a WTA 1000 event following an incredible quarterfinal run in Dubai, where she defeated elite players like Jasmine Paolini before losing to Coco Gauff. She received a vital first-round purchase thanks to that seed, which prepared her for this eagerly awaited and closely watched round of 64 debut. And Dayana Yastremska of Ukraine was ready for her across the net in this thrilling second-round match. You are aware of Yastremska's strengths if you have been following the WTA Tour for the past few years. She is a three-time WTA champion, a former world number 21, and a player who can produce some of the most destructive attacking tennis on the planet. We are all familiar with her incredible, intensely emotional journey to the 2024 Australian Open semifinals, where she dominated the draw as a qualifier and demonstrated to the world that, when she is at her best, her explosive baseline game can defeat anyone. Despite a great deal of personal and professional hardship, Yasta is still one of the most dangerous unseeded floaters in any tournament draw. She had recently defeated the seasoned Chinese veteran Zhang Shui in the first round, finding her rhythm and getting used to the infamously difficult high-bouncing conditions of the Indian Wells Tennis Park. She was rated 52nd in the world going into this match. The immovable object of Alexandra Eala's quickly developing, extraordinarily clever, and dynamic all-court game is up against the irresistible force of Dayana Yastremska's raw power. The stakes were really high. Eala wanted to demonstrate that her new ranking in the top 32 is a long-term reality, rather than a passing fad. As a sitting player, it was about managing the tremendous burden of expectations, the weight of a country's dreams, and the target that is now firmly painted on her back. Yastremska saw this as a fantastic chance to take a huge scalp, re-establish her supremacy over the younger generation, and forge a route through a challenging area of the draw. And since this match's context makes it even more exciting, let's take a moment to discuss that draw. The possibility of playing American superstar, world number 4, and hometown favorite Coco Gauff looms ominously in the third round for the victor of a total slugfest. These narrative layers are really amazing. There will be a huge, eagerly awaited rematch of their most recent quarterfinal in Dubai if Eala advances. This part of the bracket is the subject of intense pressure, hype, and media attention. From the moment they left the Indian Wells grounds, the atmosphere was electrifying. The stands were completely packed with Filipino supporters waving flags and singing her name, making it feel more like a World Cup final than a tennis match in the second round. Steely and determined, Yasta appeared prepared to stifle the mob and enforce her strong will. The air in the desert was so tense that a knife could cut through it. This wasn't only a game. Two very different generations of WTA talent competing for survival in one of the greatest championships on the planet made a statement. Let's now move on to our thorough in-depth examination of how this amazing rivalry truly plays out on the court, the tactical subtleties that characterize this match, and the wider ramifications for both players going forward in this demanding 2026 campaign. Analyzing Alexandra Eala and Dayana Yastremska's matchup basically reveals an intriguing contrast in their approaches to problem-solving and court management. We need to examine Indian Wells' unique circumstances in order to comprehend why the entire WTA is excited about this match. The distinctive court surface of the BNP Paribas Open is well known. This area's plexipave hardcourts are infamously gritty, which causes the ball to lose a lot of speed and bounce quite high, especially in the heat of the day. The ball soars despite the dry air, yet it grabs and slows down when it strikes the court. Because of this, players who can carefully construct points, set their own pace, and use strong topspin to push opponents behind the baseline are greatly favored. These conditions are an excellent canvas for Quezon City-born southpaw Alexandra Eala, who trained at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain. Ella's defining shot, a thundering, hefty looping left-handed forehand, is tailored to the rough surface at Indian Wells. She exposes the RD64 court and creates enormous angles by yanking her right-handed opponents out wide with that top spin. Eala has really increased the depth and weight of her shots over the past year. She is now dictating rather than merely protecting. Eala was obviously concentrating on court positioning as she practiced for this competition with both rising talents like Salana Sierra and seasoned veterans like Laura Segund. Segund, who is renowned for her exceptional doubles skills and tennis IQ, surely shared advice on how to handle the sluggish hard courts, stressing the value of advancing and finishing points at the net when the chance presents itself. Eala executed this skillfully, as we witnessed. She is quickly becoming as one of the most formidable weapons on the women's tour because to her ability to absorb pace and reroute it later. Dayana Yastremska poses an entirely different tactical challenge on the other side of the net. Yasta is a first-strike hyper-aggressive tennis player. In order to rob her opponent of time, she tries to flatten down her ground strokes by taking the ball very early. When she is balanced, her two-handed backhand is a deadly weapon, and her serve return is intended to put the server on the defensive right away. But for a flat hitter like Yastremska, Indian Wells' slow courts can occasionally be their undoing. The grit slows the ball down just enough for a quick anticipatory mover like Eala to find it and restart the rally if she doesn't hit all the way through the court. It is impossible to overestimate the psychological warfare involved in a contest like this. Eala had a mental advantage going into this match because she had already defeated Yastremska in the quarterfinals on the grass at Eastbourne in June 2025 in straight sets. Naturally, grass plays entirely differently from California's slow hard courts. Yastremska's power was neutralized by Eala, who won 6-1, 6-2, despite grass favoring the flat hitter. The 20-year-old Filipina stepped onto a surface that really fits her own playing style even more, feeling incredibly confident after defeating the Ukrainian on a fast surface. Yastremska, however, is a fighter. You need both a strong sense of perseverance and an elite champion mentality to make it to the Australian Open semifinals. She was aware that she needed to break the rhythm in order to defeat Eala. With a strong left-handed forehand cross-court, she was unable to let Eala dictate. Yastremska had to take advantage of Ella's deep court placement by attacking her backhand wing early and frequently, stepping inside the baseline on second serves, and using the drop shot. Yastremska appears completely unplayable when she follows this strategy. From positions when most players are merely attempting to keep the ball in play, she hits winners. However, Ella's recent rise into the top 30 winners has been characterized by her defensive scrambling and emotional maturity. Eala demonstrated an amazing capacity to weather the storm last month when she shocked world number 8 Jasmine Paolini at the Dubai Tennis Championships. Eala stops freaking out when her opponent red lines and hits 3 straight victories. She makes her opponent play one more ball, resets, and has faith in her fitness. Making Yastremska play one more ball against a high-risk, high-reward player like him may frequently mean the difference between a forced error and a clear victory. Ella's ability to move laterally has significantly improved. With the grace of an experienced clay player, she moves into her open stance backhand, absorbing Yastremska's fast pace and launching deep, neutralizing lobs that reset the point to neutral. We also need to discuss the crowd dynamic, which has grown to be a crucial component of the yellow experience on the WTA circuit. The Filipino diaspora is enormous, fervent, and fully committed to her success. Every time she won a point at Coco Golf in Dubai, the stadium was filled with supporters waving the Philippine flag, chanting, and yelling. Goff herself acknowledged the intense environment, pointing out how difficult it is to play against a rival who has the entire stadium rooting for them to win. The enthusiasm was the same here at Indian Wells, a site renowned for its enormous crowd and lively environment. Earlier in the week, spectators gathered to practice court 6 just to watch her hit forehands. The crowd was a boiling pot of support by the time she entered the match court for this round of 64 encounter. This degree of devotion can be crippling for a young 20-year-old. The weight of expectation is enormous. Eala, though, appears to thrive on it. When her legs become heavy during lengthy rallies, she harnesses that energy by leveraging the audience to improve her footwork. Yastremska finds it tough to maintain a degree of tunnel vision when playing against both a superb athlete and a boisterous audience. This match was a masterclass in opposing styles and unwavering determination. It made clear why the current state of women's tennis is so amazing. You have returned champions, established powerhouses, and a fearless young generation that is totally unaffected by the veterans' reputations on the internet. It signifies a significant change for Southeast Asian tennis in general as well as for herself. As she recently stated, the emergence of players from Indonesia and Thailand alongside her is evidence of the region's developing power. Eala is leading this movement and demonstrating that anyone with skill, support, and an unwavering work ethic can become a world-class champion. Beyond the prize money and ranking points, this particular Indian Wells encounter has far-reaching consequences. The victor of this match will get the opportunity to take on an American Grand Slam champion in Coco Golf on Stadium Court. For tournament organizers and broadcasters, a possible third-round match between Yastremska and Golf is the ultimate fantasy scenario. It stands for the sport's future. In tennis paradise, two extraordinarily gifted, very marketable, and fiercely competitive young ladies compete. But in order to get there, one had to make it through this round of 64. Yastremska wanted to demonstrate that she is still the most powerful person. Eala aimed to demonstrate that her ranking in the top 31 is merely a stopover on her path to the top 10. The powerful ground strokes, the dramatic momentum swings, the tactical chess encounter. Every single thing that makes us adore tennis was present in this match. It is hard not to take stock of the current status of women's tennis as we come to the end of this in-depth analysis of one of the most unexpected and much-awaited matches of the 2026 WTA season. The match between Dayana Yastremska and Alexandra Eala at the BNP Paribas Open is a fantastic example of why we watch. It brought us the raw, unadulterated force of an experienced Ukrainian champion facing up against the tactical genius, incredible movement, and unwavering baseline grit of the greatest tennis export from the Philippines. Whatever happens in the California desert this week, one thing has become quite evident. Alexandra Eala is totally present. She is no longer merely a promising youngster, a fortunate wild card, or someone who goes unnoticed. She navigates main draws with the ease of a 10-year veteran, making her a top-seeded threat in WTA 1000 events. It is very remarkable that at barely 20 years old, she is managing the tremendous strain of her ranking, the high expectations of her devoted worldwide fanbase, and the taxing physical demands of the tour. The competition will only get more difficult going forward. Everybody left in the draw will continue to have their physical stamina and mental toughness put to the test on Indian Wells' slow, grinding hard courts. We are in for a huge hit if the intriguing third-round showdown against Coco Golf comes to be. With several Grand Slam victories under her belt, Golf, the leading power in American tennis, will be hoping to replicate her outstanding performance from Dubai. But don't be mistaken, Eala picks things up quickly. She learns from her mistakes, modifies her strategy, and returns stronger. Every game she participates in at this high level adds another level of expertise to her quickly growing skill set. Furthermore, Dayana Yastremska's quest is far from finished. She can burst through draws and defeat the titans of the sport because to her overwhelming firepower, which guarantees that she will always be a serious threat. I'd like to give it to you, the audience. How did you feel about the amazing tactical changes that were made during this game? Do you think Alexandra Eala has the full all-court skill necessary to overcome Coco Gauff and make it into the WTA top 10 by the end of the year? Or do you believe that the young people of this new age will be exposed by the hard-hitting veterans like Yastremska? In the space provided for comments below, share your opinions, tactical analyses, and predictions for the remainder of the Indian Wells draw. I read each and every one of them, and I adore the discussion from this incredible tennis community. Please remember to use the like button if you liked this thorough, in-depth breakdown. Doing so will help the channel expand and enable us to continue providing you with these in-depth analyses. Remember to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any updates as we track all the major shocks, championship runs, and breaking news during this amazing 2026 tennis season. From the Indian Wells finals to the eagerly awaited Miami Open next week, we will be closely following the Sunshine Double. I sincerely appreciate everyone's participation, ongoing support, and enthusiasm for the best sport in the world.